with the IRS hearings. It was, well, many people are saying it turned into a sideshow. Here are the three people. There's the Inspector General there, and then Douglas Schulman, who used to be in charge of the IRS but resigned last year. And then you had Lois Lerner. Of course, she was in charge of that Cincinnati office of those exempt tax organizations like Tea Parties and Patriots and such, who were trying to get 501c4 status. Well, remember, it came out yesterday morning that she was going to take the fifth. She wasn't going to say anything. However, she ended up giving an opening statement where she basically said she's done nothing wrong, basically said she's committed no crimes. So did she actually then open herself up to having to come back to testify? Well, Trey Gowdy felt that way. Listen to this.
Because I'm asserting my right not to testify, I know that some people will assume that I've done something wrong. I have not. One of the basic functions of the Fifth Amendment is to protect innocent individuals, and that is the protection I'm invoking today.
She just testified. She just waived the Amendment right to privilege. You don't get to tell your side of the story and then not be subjected to cross-examination. That's not the way it works. She waived her right to Fifth Amendment privilege by issuing an opening statement. She ought to stand here and answer our questions.
He's got a great point. He's a former prosecutor, so he understands the law, but Congress goes, look, this isn't the same as criminal court. So the big question is, did she waive her Fifth Amendment rights by giving the opening statement? Legal experts say it could be interpreted as a subject matter waiver where she made factual statements and then tried to clam up. But you got to wonder, Lois has been before Congress a number of times. Why is she afraid of telling the truth? Could it possibly be the fact that she said, this was all an accident? And when you look at the facts, that her unit investigated 471 conservative groups and not a single progressive group, it does look like her argument that it was an accident is weak. Lois should have just sat there and told the truth, but instead she took the fifth, and now she will have to face the music.
Well, since I'm not a lawyer, I always wanted to be one, but I consulted Judge Andrew Napolitano this morning. Here's what he said about it. It was a serious and profound and almost unheard of legal error. She can now be compelled to answer questions about the substance of the denials she uttered before she invoked the Fifth Amendment privilege, and that's what Darrell Issa believes. He's now possibly going to subpoena her and hold her in contempt if she does not come back and answer questions.
Well, I was surprised that Darrell Issa didn't go through at least a few questions of, well, tell me, who gave you the permission to go ahead and make your entire tax-exempt enclave of the IRS a attack dog for anything Patriot or Tea Party related? And by the way, when you picked up the phone and called Judge Napolitano, did he say, hello, Gretchen Elizabeth, how can I help you? Because that's the way he always refers to you, with your middle name.
He does, and that is a little bit of a backstory, which we won't get into right now, but I actually emailed him, if you want to know.
Did you really?
I'm not going to take the fifth. I'm going to tell you the truth about everything that happened this morning.
I don't know about you, but I would love to, if I ever got in trouble in the future with the FBI, I would love to have the Lois Lerner deal, where,
it's incredible.
You go before the FBI, before the IRS, who said you did something wrong with your taxes, and then you go, look, I'm completely innocent. And then they start to ask you questions. I'm not going to answer those because of my Fifth Amendment rights. An extraordinary circumstance
by the way,
where she said she's telling the truth, and yet, why doesn't she tell the truth? She looked so guilty by not answering the question.
And the other guy didn't look so hot either, Douglas Schulman. It turns out that he's been to the White House when he was IRS chief 118 times.
Well, he had to go to the Easter egg roll.
118 times. But that
was his excuse.
Yes, I was going to get to that. That when he was asked why he would have gone to the White House, he said, unbelievably, because I was going to the Easter egg roll.
Yeah, but by the way, everything you thought about an IRS people, that they're dismissive and condescending and unwavering, that's exactly what you saw. I've never saw so much arrogance between Steve Miller, Schulman, who's a Bush appointee, and this woman, Lois Lerner, in the brief time she spoke. I mean, the way in which they took to talking to Congress is insulting.
She didn't do the White House a lot of good. The last thing they need is to see somebody promise to tell the truth and then look guilty by delaying the
Schulman
game.
wasn't paying attention. He asked for like 20 questions to be repeated.
Plus, as it turns out, we knew about this, or they knew about it, 5 months before the election. It does look like one of those things that, come on, let's just run out the clock. We'll find out about it after. And it was.
We're going to continue to talk.